Hello everybody. So this video is entitled, Will MSTR outperform 21 Capital? The ticker symbol is XXI, or should you stick with Chad? Should you choose Chad? And I had made a video 7 months ago asking that same question, and we will see if my answer has changed today or not. But anyways, before I talk about 21 Capital, I want to say that this stock market continues to be a mystery for me. The market is somehow successful at convincing itself that AI is a bubble. It's focusing on the short-term stuff and short-term capex, disappointment with Broadcom or whatever. It's finding a reason, finding a way to be disappointed. And so the Nasdaq dumped pretty hard today when you consider the size of that index. Pretty hard. And of course, Bitcoin is going to, to the downside, Bitcoin tends to be correlated with the Nasdaq, unfortunately. We can't catch a break. We haven't been able to catch a break any time in the 2020s. We have a once in a lifetime or once in multiple lifetime crises. We've had those, perhaps half a dozen times in the 2020s. It's nonsense galore. Investing in the 2020s is not for the faint of heart. And of course, investing in Bitcoin is no different. It is not for the faint of heart to invest in Bitcoin. And so when strategy is down 3.7% today, relentless, we cannot catch a break, annoyed, there's no other way to say it, we have outperformed to the downside a bit more than we should. A little more than we should. We should probably be down 2.8%. We're down 3.7%. Stretch is pretty much acting like it should. It's slowly trying to get back to 100, but it's not getting there. MNAV compressed just a tad today, 1.13. So we are continuing the slow decline in strategy, the slow bleed. And this is despite the most bullish news, which is money printing. As of today, money printing is starting. As of this morning, they started to do the money printing. And the stock market is down 1.69%. You can't make this stuff up. At this point, I'm beginning to think if we get negative news in the market somewhere, the market might pop. It might bounce if we get something negative somewhere. So anyways, business as usual for strategy. We're long-term investors on this channel, so that doesn't bother us on this channel because we're long-term investors. Long-term people, and this is where I get to talk about 21 Capital. So 7 months ago, I made this video. Is 21 Capital really better than MSTR? And Jack Mallers, of course, tries to differentiate itself from strategy. Now, maybe today XXI took some capital away from strategy, right? I really don't think it did. I really don't believe so. But before I start telling you my thoughts about XXI, let me just say I like Jack Mallers. Different style, very different style than me, than Saylor, than a lot of people who are investors. Very different style. But I like him. I think he's a huge Bitcoin advocate. I think he's had very good takes in the past. I think Strike, his other company, is a big success. So I want him to succeed. Now, that being said, I still don't get it. I watched this entire video, and I still don't get it. It's like general statements, but there's no substance. It's just... it's a digital asset treasury company. Like XXI is a digital asset treasury company like MSTR. I didn't get anything tangible out of this video. Just Bitcoin is going to change the world. We're going to accumulate Bitcoin. Yeah, I didn't get any big differentiation. Like, for example, Strive, there's a clear differentiation at Strive, right? What does Strive say? Strive, they say they want to do acquisition. They want to do accretive acquisitions, right? I'm not getting this when I look at XXI. I don't see any difference. So what could they do? So they say they want to be a Bitcoin company with cash flows, but they don't want to be the same as strategy, and they don't want to be the same as Coinbase. And so I'm confused when you say you want to be a Bitcoin company with cash flows, because strategy is an operating company with cash flows. It's just that those cash flows are small today because the size of strategy has gotten so huge, the size of your Bitcoin bag has gotten so huge that the cash flows look like they don't exist. But at the beginning, strategy was a company with cash flow, and it still has all of its cash flows from back in the day. It's just that the size of Bitcoin bag has outgrown the company. But it's not true to say that strategy doesn't have cash flows, and obviously Coinbase has cash flows. So I'm confused as to the differentiation from either whatever, Coinbase or Strategy, to me, there's no differentiation because both of these companies have cash flows. That's point number one. And then point number two, I want to discuss the original roadmap. So 7 months ago, when they IPO'd, they dropped this roadmap. And I don't see much different at all from Strategy. I really don't see a big difference. So they want to acquire Bitcoin, they want to manage Bitcoin, and they want to acquire Bitcoin via debt and equity securities issuances and new issuances of securities to buy Bitcoin. So that's exactly what Saylor has been doing. Now, they do talk about branding, and that's not the only that, by the way, was talked about branding and Bitcoin education or whatever treasury they're covering, education. A lot of companies have talked about education. For example, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Naka owns Bitcoin Magazine, right? Bitcoin Magazine Japan is owned by MetaPlanet. So the education angle is definitely not novel to XXI. Also, Saylor has never explicitly stated that Strategy's goal was education, but there's no denying that the impact of Strategy World and the impact of all of Saylor's intervention has been, a major force in Bitcoin education. In my view, there is no better teacher than Saylor. He's been an outstanding teacher. Also, when they talk about education, you see in that presentation, they talk about Web3. And I don't have a problem with Web3. I think Web3 is wonderful. But why would you discuss Web3 when you go on the media and you say, we're just doing Bitcoin, we're just involved with Bitcoin. And then in your own presentation, you talk about Web3. So I'm confused. I'm really confused. And then when you talk about Bitcoin financing, so Bitcoin related, they want to do Bitcoin related activities. So what could it be? Bitcoin financial services? Well, if you do, then that'd be the same as Strike and the same as Coinbase, yet Jack Mallers says they're not the same as Coinbase, okay? Would it be Bitcoin-related debt? Would it be Bitcoin-related debt? Well, if you do Bitcoin-related debt, well, then the same as Strategy. But then Mallers says they're different from Strategy. And so could it be Bitcoin-backed lending? Like you send the Bitcoin on the platform and then you borrow fiat. Well, then, it's the same as Strike. It's the same as other company. It's the same as Crypto.com. It's the same as a lot of exchanges. Binance does some of that stuff too. So that's no different. In my view, like the more I look at it, like they say, oh, we're totally different from Coinbase and Strategy. And I look at this and I'm like, you're pretty much like Strategy. I mean, until you offer a product, you're pretty much like Strategy. XXI is pretty much like Strategy. And so your option is you either offer a product like Strategy, which is you create debt instrument and you issue debt, or you offer a product like Coinbase or Strike. But, I doubt you're going to build an exchange from scratch like that. So in my view, they're going to take the same path as Strategy. That's the logical explanation, especially when, per the SEC filing, it seems like they have 2 employees at XXI or something like that. It's probably outdated what I saw. But anyways, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. Now, even if I look at MNAV, right, and of course it's not updated everywhere, but I calculated by hand, 4.15 billion market cap, 3.9 billion worth of Bitcoin, you have a basic MNAV of 1.05. I mean, give or take 5%, you are trading at a very low MNAV. XXI is trading at a very low MNAV in line with the rest of the Bitcoin treasury companies. They roughly trade at 1, sometimes less, sometimes more, but it's very much in line with the rest. And so the question is, you have XXI, and XXI gives a lot of promises, but I would much rather own the leader. And the leader is Strategy. Why would I much rather own the leader? Because they actually have products. And the products, of course, beyond the business intelligence products that they have, the product of Strategy is the financial instrument. Strategy is a seller of financial instruments. And there is a total of 6 financial instruments that Strategy sells. The first financial instrument is selling the stock. When you sell the stock, you're selling amplified Bitcoin. The delta between the dividend paid out on all of the preferred and the return of Bitcoin underlying, that delta will accumulate in the form of amplification to MSTR stock. MSTR stock is amplified Bitcoin. That's what you're selling. It's a product designed for long-term leverage. Long-term leverage is what this product is designed. Then you have Stretch. Stretch is the iPhone product. Is the iPhone moment of Strategy. Stretch is a stable coin designed to trade at 100 with a monthly variable dividend, right now 10.85%. Then you have Strike. Strike is my preferred. My preferred. It's a quarterly dividend. It's 9.1%, but it includes this very interesting, so interesting perpetual stock option in there. You know, if you buy options are not perpetual. If MSTR is not trading where you want it to trade in 900 days, you lose all of your money. But that's not true with Strike, because Strike comes with an option, a perpetual option attached with it. And that option, of course, is 10 shares of Strike will convert to 1 share of Strategy once Strategy reaches $1,000 a share. I love Strike. I think Strike is the most interesting of the preferred in there. But of course, that perpetual stock option has value, and so you're getting paid less than a lot of the other instruments, whether it is Stretch, which is the monthly dividend, whether it is Strife. Strife is there. I got it backwards here. But anyways, this is supposed to be like this, 9 and 12. I hope I'm right on this. Gosh, sorry about that. So it's different from their junior. It's different from their senior. Of course, the difference is that the senior preferred has the highest Bitcoin rating. The junior preferred has the highest yield, but the lower the rating. And the Bitcoin rating, of course, is how much of a Bitcoin you have on the balance sheet backing the debt. And then you have Stream. Stream is the euro yield, right? So there's all of these 6 instruments that Saylor already has, which are debt instruments, which are already built. And so you know, if XXI wants to compete against Saylor, I would much rather go with Saylor. And then if they want to compete against Coinbase, that remains to be seen what they can do and what they will be able to do. But to conclude this video, choose Chad. Should I stick with Chad? And in my view is I'm going to keep choosing Strategy and stick with them, because as long as I don't have more information as to what XXI could do, I don't really see value in taking the risk of moving from one asset to another, especially when you have such established instruments now with Strategy and such a clear strategy with Strategy. So anyways, this was not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.